Rivers State Governor Wike has called on Nigerian media to wake up and defend Nigerians who are suffering untold hardship under the failed APC Federal Government. Speaking during a course visit by the management of the International Press Institute at the Government House Port Harcourt on Friday, Governor Wike regretted that the Nigerian media has lost its voice since May 2015.
The press should wake up. The press should be the spokesperson for the poor. The press is not speaking for the rich. The press no longer talks for the poor. The press used to be the conscience of the society. I don't know where the conscience is again. All the press is looking for now just advertorial. Because the press in Nigeria has been gagged. The same press that was at the center stage of Jonathan Must Go has run away. You don't see the press again. The same press. Where is the press? Where is the media? What has happened to the conscience of the media? We don't have media again.
Governor Wike said that the same press that joined some prominent Nigerians to fight the partial removal of petroleum subsidy under the former president Goodluck Jonathan have maintained a deafening silence under President Muhammadu Buhari when the entire fuel subsidy was removed in controversial circumstances.
This is a government that said, oh, we have totally removed the subsidy. We are again hearing that no, they've been paying a subsidy. The other day, the same Mr. President has approved the release of $1 billion from SS Crew. The other day, no, he has not approved, he has not directed. It must come through the National Assembly. What kind of system? What? We are going front, we are going back.
The governor said that despite the controversies and inconsistencies that have trailed the alleged total removal of fuel subsidy, there are no calls for Occupy Nigeria in the media.
The press must come out and speak out. The way you spoke in 2014, 2015, the way you said Occupy Nigeria, ordinary, partial removal of subsidy. You say you occupy Nigeria. Now there's a complete removal. Nigeria refused to occupy.
He said that the APC Federal Government is poised to use illegal means to manipulate the electoral process, hence the fight over election sequence in the amended Electoral Act.
INEC having identified such a person who tried to, not even who tried to, who participated in manipulating the electoral process, have they gone further to say, look, this type of character should not participate in anything concerning our election? Rather, every day they are sitting, strategizing how to manipulate Rivers election in 2019.
The governor said that in Rivers State, the police high command rewarded Mr. Akin Fakorode, who was indicted by the INEC committee in Rivers rerun for massive electoral fraud.
Now let me read what the report says. Page 66, it says, but the most mind-boggling were cases of hostage taking, hijack of materials and physical assaults on INEC officials perpetrated by security operatives. Of singular note was a certain policeman named Akin Fakorode, who ostensibly is commander of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SAS, in Rivers State. Mr. Fakorode first tried to lure INEC staff to travel with him from Port Harcourt to Emahua local government area under the pretext of enabling them to collate results. But for intervention of national commissioners, we suspect that he would have put our staff in harm's way. When he failed in his initial bid, he stalked the INEC officials to the Collation Center in Port Harcourt and physically assaulted Dr. C. Odepe and Mrs. Mary Tukunyo. In fact, Dr. Odepe ended up with a gash on his head and both spent days at the Air Force Hospital in Port Harcourt. Now, this is INEC's own report on a security personnel.
The governor said that it is in the interest of the country that international journalists will be visiting.
So it is good that the IPI should come to Nigeria and see and hear the atrocities that the government is perpetrating. So when you say he made London which he made for Nigeria? We have no image to London. We're happy that the press will let the world know how Nigeria is fighting corruption. We'll be happy that the world would know the way they are fighting corruption. How those who are looters are having charges in court. And the government have already passed a guilty verdict. And how those who have left the opposition to the ruling party, even though they are still facing charges in court, their names are not included as looters. How, if you don't want to be a corrupt man, enter the ruling party?
Governor Wike said press freedom can only be achieved in a democracy where the rule of law is respected. Earlier, the leader of the International Press Institute Media and Publicity Committee, Dr. Tony Radia, said that the committee was in the state to create awareness on the 2018 World Congress to be hosted in Nigeria.
This is the publicity committee of the 2018 World Congress of the International Press Institute. This committee is mandated to create awareness and prepare the ground for the meeting. We would like Nigerians to know of this great event.
He said the event offers Nigeria the opportunity to louder her image as well as give international journalists the opportunity to appreciate development efforts in the country.
It offers an opportunity for leading journalists across the world to see Nigeria for the first time. What it immediately means is that we anticipate a change of narrative whereby the media knew only the negatives of Nigeria.
Dr. Iradia said that Rivers State is one of the functional states where the people are enjoying the dividends of democracy. He said that there is need for the media to highlight Rivers State for other states to emulate.
Our colleague felt that we must come to Rivers State because those who have come among us have said that this is the state where projects are holding. Those are the dividends of democracy. And those are the things that journalists should actually project so that other people will begin to emulate those who are doing it. The purpose of government is for the improvement of lives of people.